following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the May 2nd, fantastic Friday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right. If you're listening live at 11:07, thanks so much for doing that. We're recording today's show. It's now 8:07, so we're going to be taking a look at what the futures markets are doing. We've got Jobs Friday, so we'll see how the markets respond. That's at 8:30 this morning, so plenty to look at. Of course, if you're listening live, I would love to hear from you. You can send me an email. Send it off to steve@tfnn.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Fabulous Friday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. So at 8:08 in the morning, we got U.S. equity futures trading the upside. S&P futures up 22 points, about 0.4%. 0.3 for the NASDAQ, or 62 points. 0.5% for the Dow, 197 points. About 1% for the Russell. That's a 17-point move there. In Asia last night, you had the Shanghai that was closed. You had the Hang Seng of 385 points. The Hang Seng, we'll take a look at their charts, negated a TD9 count top. So did the Nikkei. That says that it wants to trade higher. The FTSE does not have a topping pattern. That wants to trade higher. The DAX is very close to its all-time highs, not that far away, up 410 points. Remember, the DAX and the NASDAQ 100 typically trade. They've got a very strong directional correlation out there. Gold's up $48. It held support yesterday. We'll take a look at that profile support. Silver is up 9 pennies right now. Copper up 3 cents. Light sweet crude is off 74 cents. Natural gas is up 3 pennies out there. U.S. dollar index down 500 points. So let's start. Let's do this. Let's start. And then, when I do the show at 11 o'clock, I don't really get the chance to do this. But we're going to go start our day by taking a look at what's going on internationally. So we're going to change my screen here momentarily. We'll put up 5 different charts. Change stream. See if this works. Screen. Here we go. So you should be looking at here momentarily. On the left-hand side, you see the Shanghai. And the Shanghai, as I mentioned last night, was closed for a holiday. It has a TD9 count topping pattern. In order to negate that signal, it's going to need to close above the high of 34.7143. Odds favor based upon the activity going on in Hong Kong, over in Japan, really what's going on in the UK, as well as Germany, that the Shanghai will go ahead and take that out. But, it still needs to potentially test that oscillator and change line at 34.31. But if you look at the Hang Seng last night, negated a TD9 count top, basically did it in, 3 or 4 sessions out there. That suggests it wants to make a run for the 24.230.72 level. Now, there is an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. It would look like this. The A point is going to be the low. That's the easiest thing. Then we're going to go to the B point. It happens to be labeled B on my screen. That's one of the Chapman wave labels out there, not necessarily the B point label. In this case, it is. And then we just simply go to and we look at our next lowest low that takes place after that was the following day. So there's an A to B equals CD pattern. We get it up to the 23.201 area. Now, that retracement there, 382% retracement at best. So less than a 0.618. Odds favor you do more than a 1 to 1A to be equal CD pen on the upside. That's why I say 24,230 is a likely price target for the Hang Seng. In the case of the Nikkei, 37,359.95. That's already in its sights. That's its TD9 count breakdown level. You can see that it's a strong upward momentum move as price negated its TD9 count pattern that formed yesterday. If you take a look at the FTSE, it does not have a topping pattern. It's gunning for the 86.71.91 level. That's its TD9 count breakdown area. And if we take a look at the DAX also negated its TD9 count top yesterday, follow through today to the upside. It wants to go target its TD9 count top, and that's at the 23,204.59 level. But look, that gets us right into the swing point. Its all-time high from back on March the 18th. So that's really what the DAX is doing. It's gunning for its all-time highs out there with resistance at that 32,204.59 level. So important to understand what's going on internationally because, well, first of all, those folks that believe we're in a bear market have never really compared international charts to what's going on inside the U.S. And so the international charts are saying, I don't know what the heck you're thinking, that we're in some kind of bear market. In any event, we're just going to take a look at the charts one at a time. So let's go ahead and close these down. And now let's go take a look at, you know what I want to do? Is I want to put up the New York Stock Exchange while I've got this specific data feed going here. Now, when I'm referring to the New York Stock Exchange, I mean I want to take a look at what's going on with regard to the top. Since we just took a look at some international markets, I want to see what's going on with the top 100 international stocks inside the New York Stock Exchange, as well as the 100 U.S. stocks inside the New York Stock Exchange. So we've got both the daily and the time frame. The very left-hand panel is comparing the U.S. 100 to the NDX 100. You'll see strong directional correlation there. If we look at the U.S. 100, that's the second chart. You'll see the A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. Now, today is going to become, well, it's bar number 8 of a TD9 count. And so if the top 100 starts trading above 16,529.41, it will generate a potential TD9 count topping signal that would form by Tuesday of next week. So I want to keep an eye on that. If we take a look at the that's the daily time frame for it. If we look at the weekly time frame, it's got a price target of 16,612. And if price can close above that, that would be a super positive signal for the top 100 U.S. instruments with inside the New York Stock Exchange. The NYSE, the international, it's pretty close to its all-time highs. You can see by looking at the weekly time frame chart. It closed above its green oscillator and change last week. A green oscillator and change line tells us that we have a price oscillator above zero. When price is above that green line, it tells us we have a rising price oscillator above zero. Those are bullish conditions. Period. Now, when I say period, now that doesn't mean if you're forming a topping pattern or topping signal, but otherwise, short of that, and even in that case, it's still a bullish signal until proven otherwise. So the New York stock is here. So this is just confirming what we looked at when we looked at negated TD9 count tops inside the Hang Seng, inside the Nikkei, inside the DAX. Out there. So in the case of the New York Stock Exchange, the International 100 wants to go target the 79.84 level out there. Let's go take a quick peek here at currencies, at the U.S. dollar index, the components that make that up. Let's take a look at this here. So the euro's got a 57% weighting. You can see it's got a nice TD9 count topping pattern. Odds favor it's going to go target the 109 level. If it does that and it trades lower, the U.S. dollar index is going to get stronger. In the case of the Japanese yen, it does have an A to B equals CD pen on the upside. If a bearish reversal candle were to form, it would generate a sell to D point. We've got a no topping pattern inside the Great British Pound, but it's lost momentum trading below that green oscillator and change line. So it may want to head lower. Canadian loony's got a TD9 count bottom. Here, when you get to the U.S. dollar index, you'll see it's nothing more than a sideways trade with inside profile levels. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. So it's 8:18 in the morning. If you're listening live, thanks so much for doing that. If you are listening, listening in the recorded time frame at 11:18, thank you for doing that as well. We're taking a look at the U.S. equity futures at the moment. The daily contracts out here. And what we see is A to B equals CD patterns to the upside. The ES mini is trading inside its sell zone. So this is an area here where you've got a number of sellers, and they exist between 55.85 and 57.73. The A to B equals CD pattern would take price above the 57.73.